Wake up refreshed every morning. The routine you're missing? Jake hated mornings. Every day, he woke up feeling like he'd been hit by a truck. Even after 8 hours of sleep, his body felt like it weighed a ton, and his brain was in a fog. Maybe I just need more sleep, he thought. So, on Friday nights, he stayed up late watching movies, knowing he could sleep in on Saturdays. When the weekend came, he slept until noon and thought he was catching up. On Monday, though, Jake felt even worse. His alarm buzzed, and he groaned, smashing the snooze button. He dragged himself through the day, barely keeping his eyes open in class. His teacher, Mrs. Carter, noticed Jake struggling and called him aside after school. "Jake," she said gently, "you look like you haven't slept in weeks. What's going on?" Jake shrugged. "I sleep a lot. I just feel tired no matter what." Mrs. Carter nodded knowingly. "Have you ever tried waking up at the same time every day?" Jake frowned. "That's impossible. On weekends, I sleep in to make up for the sleep I miss during the week." "That's what most people think," Mrs. Carter said, "but it doesn't work. Your body has something called a circadian rhythm. It's like an internal clock, and it loves consistency. If you wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends, you'll feel more rested." Jake was skeptical. The idea sounded boring and too simple to work. "What if I still feel tired?" he asked. "You might for the first few days," Mrs. Carter admitted. "But give it a week, and you'll see the difference." Reluctantly, Jake decided to give it a try. That night, he set his alarm for 7 a.m. on a Saturday. As the clock buzzed the next morning, Jake groaned. His bed was warm, and he was tempted to sleep longer. He remembered Mrs. Carter's words and forced himself out of bed. His eyes felt heavy, and he spent most of the day yawning. "This is so dumb," he muttered. Sunday morning was just as bad. The alarm rang, and Jake wanted to throw it across the room. His body ached, and his brain begged for more sleep. Still, he got up. By the end of the day, Jake was frustrated. "This isn't working," he thought. On Monday, something strange happened. When the alarm went off, Jake didn't feel as groggy. He sat up without pressing snooze, surprised at how easy it felt. His school day was better too. He didn't feel like he needed to nap during math class. For the first time in weeks, he finished his homework without falling asleep at his desk. As the week went on, things got even better. By Thursday, Jake noticed he was waking up a few minutes before his alarm. His mornings felt brighter, and his energy lasted throughout the day. By Friday, he was excited to wake up, ready to tackle the day. The real test came that weekend. On Saturday, Jake woke up naturally at 6:59 a.m., 1 minute before his alarm. He didn't feel groggy or grumpy. Instead, he felt energized and clear-headed. "This is crazy," he thought. He couldn't believe how much had changed in just a week. On Monday, Jake thanked Mrs. Carter. "You were right," he said. "Waking up at the same time every day is magic." Mrs. Carter smiled. "It's not magic, Jake. It's just how your body works. Keep it up, and you'll never dread mornings again."